Frank from Livick Enterprises here again today with a new product. It's going to be a product review, but also unboxing, testing, all of that. I'm not sure if it's going to go on my automotive channel or technology channel, since it's a piece of tech that deals with cars, but probably the auto channel. This big box here, I mean the box inside is probably this big, and I'll show you what it's replacing in just a second. So thank you Amazon for not putting it in a Jiffy. Jiffies are terrible. I hate Jiffies. This is what it's replacing. This is the old rearview mirror from my car. It actually used to go ahead. I mean, you have the power thing here, so you hook up the backup camera, so it records out the front. Hook up the backup camera, it records out the back. Fantastic. Memory card, it records it onto there. GPS is blocked off. So I decided, since now it's starting to just, as you probably saw in another video on this channel earlier, it just starts going bonkers and goes front camera, back camera, front camera, back camera, constantly while you're driving. It also turns on and off whenever it wants, which is really interesting. Very distracting when you're driving. So I said I'm going to replace this. But if I'm going to replace it, why wouldn't I just upgrade it and get more features? Well, because it's more money, but I actually did spend more money to get this. So I'm going to open this up. It's supposedly almost the same thing as that, maybe a little different shape, maybe a little bigger, smaller. We'll see. It's got more features because that there is just, I mean, it's basically just a giant screen with an input from the back camera and the front camera. This thing here, the replacement, actually runs a version of Android. So it's a smart mirror. Technically, I'm making my car smarter by putting this in there. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself. So let's open it up. So to open the box up, I'm just going to bust out my switchblade. And right down the middle. Okay. And just as I had said, what did I say? It would be about that big in a giant box? Yeah. And it looks like it was actually wrapped with duct tape. That's very interesting packaging. I've never seen that. But, go ahead and get this off of there. So, HD card DVR. Okay, let's slide out now. Gotta open it. Okay, you gotta open this end, magnetic. So, right off the bat, it's actually a little bigger than the old one. I think this one here was maybe like an 8 to 10 inch, and this is a 10 to 12 inch. No, it's got to be at least 12 inches long. Let me measure. No, don't do those jokes again. So this is the actual mirror. I'm sorry, but it looks pretty much the exact same as the old one here. We've got the same kind of mounts. You have pretty much the same ports, except this one here, the new one actually takes a SIM card. So if you have an extra SIM card laying around for like $5 a month, buy some data, throw it on here, you have built-in GPS. I'm just assuming I'm going to have to take my phone and pair it with it somehow, and then I could get GPS, but other than that, I mean, it's actually almost identical. It's just bigger, longer, and on the back, you have a bigger speaker, and on the old one, the camera pops out. On the new one, it doesn't. That might be an issue, but because the newer one is like 2 inches longer than the old one, I'm thinking that might actually compensate for that, because this here, it's probably not 2 inches. So, let me measure. Okay, so what else does this come with? So this was the sleeve that it was in. You remove this, you remove this, and you have a kit. So this is the backup camera. Darn, I think it's actually higher quality than what I currently have installed, which means that tonight or tomorrow night, whenever I get to it, I'm actually going to have to take my rear view camera completely out of that car and rerun the entire thing with this one. That should be fun. This is the power cable It does not have a USB port like most of them do, like the one for that. Because it wants you to hardwire it to your engine so that when your car starts, it automatically turns on. But the thing is, if power is coming in, it's the same output from the car. So like whatever's going into here is also micro USB or mini USB. I should be able to use the old adapter no problem. And this here is of course the GPS antenna. That'll be fun to run through my car as well. And you have this tiny little user manual, which actually seems to be quite helpful compared to most. I mean, they got tips on a lot of different things. They've got a bunch of specs. This might actually be a decent user manual, one that might actually be useful in using the product, unlike most ones that I buy, but I do buy a lot of stuff from China. So I'm going to go ahead and take the power cable, a power cable from my PlayStation controller, plug it in the mirror, turn it on, and just see what happens.